We are Tailgate Talk. Welcome into the show. I'm Matt Thomas. With me, we got Trent Williams and Kyle Schumann coming to you after a interesting week 9 of college football action that had Penn State almost lose to a 2-win Indiana team. So, guys, let's just get right into it. What the hell was that?
We're broken. We are broken.
In the arms of an angel.
We made their quarterback look like a Heisman contender after seeing his final stat line. Jeez.
Yeah, 269 passing yards, 13 for 19, 68% completion percentage. Brendan Sorsby. Yeah, it was interesting. 31-point favorite, winning by 9, 33-24.
Kyle still felt confident we were going to cover like midway through the fourth.
And we're going to get into this, but as soon as Drew threw the interception, I started yelling at Trent, "You wanted this, Trent. You wanted this first interception." And
it worked out perfectly, did it not?
I mean, the next ball we threw was a complete dime pretty much. Yeah. Next big ball, I guess, but
worked to plan.
Just the way everybody intended it.
Yeah, I mean, I give our defense our defense deserves the benefit of that. They earned a bad game. They did not play well. They did not play to the standard, but they earned that. Offensively, still gross.
Yeah,
go.
Just the last 8 quarters of Penn State football offensively, minus the final 2 minutes of that game. Oof. Bad.
How bad?
Very bad.
Gross.
Very bad. Very, very bad.
Are you gonna tell us the numbers?
No, I mean it's just. I mean, I don't think you need to see any number. Like number wise, it's not a bad day. 33 points, 340 yards. But you can't look at that and tell me that it's an offense running at max efficiency. Like it just looks painful. It looks so everything is hard.
I saw some people saying like, "Oh, that was the weekend of college football. People escaping with wins. You know, Oklahoma losing to Kansas." But like some of these teams that lost, like Kansas, good football team. They were 5-2. We should not be playing around with a 2-5 Indiana team. It shouldn't have been that close. We shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. If we were going to be a playoff contending team, we shouldn't be, futzing around with Indiana. So.
Well, you predicted us to lose to Indiana in the preseason show.
I did.
Yeah, I think so. That's what I have written down.
Well, that would have been a pick of the century. Let me just tell you.
But I mean,
if he would have known that, he would have been cheering for Indiana in the stands.
How do we know he wasn't? He's pretty quiet down there at the other end.
He was pretty quiet this week.
I was only animated for the last 2 minutes of the game. I was just sitting there, just wasn't happy.
Well, because it felt like we were about to lose to Indiana. That thought, the fact that thought even had to cross our mind, we might lose this game is scary.
I was sitting there with Mawini and just saying throughout the game, "Oh, what's your nervous meter right now? 1 to 10." And I started at a 6 at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and then he's like, once the truth of the interception, he's like, "This is an 8 right now." It was not good.
Yeah, I mean, Drew could not have thrown his first interception at a worse time in a worse spot of the field. That was as bad as it could be. And when he threw that interception, I'm like, I honestly thought we lost the game.
Yeah, that's how we lose.
But when Indiana turned around and pretty much conceded to we're just gonna play for a field goal.
If I'm an Indiana fan, I am pissed off at Tom Allen. You're playing to not win the game. You're playing there for overtime. If I'm in that position, you're not go for the win, go for the jugular.
That, and I said it in the game there, that shows you what they thought of the Penn State offense. They thought that they could get a field goal, tie the game up with 2 minutes left, and take it to overtime.
Boy, did we prove them wrong.
Yeah, we did. Drew Aller with a 57-yard bomb to Keandre Lambert-Smith. Where's that been for the last 2 months?
There were some ugly throws in that game, but please appreciate that was just beautiful.
Now the storyline coming out of the game is that Drew Aller flipped a switch? Like, has he been unlocked? Like
one pass.
I hope so. I hope so. Like, I mean, well, technically two. He had 2 passes on that drive, 10-yard or 11-yard and the 57-yard. So, but yeah, like, I mean, I hope so. Like, I hope he's kind of got that.
He went 311 pass attempts. Was that what it was before his first interception?
I think that's the number.
That sounds about right.
It's 311. Robert Griffin III's record. I think it's like by about 100.
Yeah, I feel like he crushed it.
Yeah, it's not going to be broken for a while. But is it just me? And I said this to Morgan, our other editor over at Basic Blues, but during the game, like, did it seem maybe like the second or third drive where Aller was just like, screw it, I'm just going to start. Like, I'm not going to check it down anymore, because I kind of got that sense where he had a couple of those where like it was kind of there, and then he just chucked it down, and it seemed like after that point he was just, and as a result he was waiting longer.
As bad, yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I do think I seen some good signs from Drew this game, even though the offense as a whole didn't look good. Like, he did appear to, like, I think he's starting to pull the ball and run more when it's wide open, because before they'd be giving him like 10 yards and he'd just sit there at the line of scrimmage just waiting for someone to get open, and by the time he's like, maybe I should run it, it's too late. It's pocket's already collapsed, he's getting sacked. I feel like he did that better, and I think he needs his working through his like receivers, his checkdowns. It just feels slow. Like, the whole stadium sees a guy wide open. It feels like minutes before he does.
I was gonna say, speaking of wide open,
that Dinkins touchdown, everyone's screaming like he was open from, like, he was like crossing the goalpost in the end zone. Like, he's like, throw the ball. He's like wide open, and he finally saw him. But
I think that's the only reason he did saw him, because he heard everyone go wide open.
It's like, what took him so? He's a big kid, right? He's not getting blocked out by his offense. Like, what's taking him so long? Because this is not the only instance of guys being wide open down the field, and he just doesn't see him.
Not about wide open. I mean, that was the first time like we got
for the Penn State wide receivers, yeah, wide open.
Yeah, we've had plays this year where we've had receivers wide open and he just doesn't see them.
Yeah,
I think one thing I saw in this game, where it's the blueprint to beat our team that Ohio State laid out, is stack the box, bring pressure, play man on the outside against 2 wide receivers. And there was cases where, there was pressure, and there were some plays where Drew, like, I know again the front 7 for Indiana is nothing compared to Ohio State, but I feel like there's some plays where Drew stepped up, made good reads, maybe like either the guy wasn't open, whatever, and he decided to run with the ball. But I felt like from Ohio State that game, I was happy to see Drew do that. That aspect of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an indictment to what the wide receiver room is right now. Like, it is like, I don't like to say anything's bad or whatever, especially because you're talking about kids or whatever, but that room is bad. Like, it is not at the
they're not bad. They're not the standard to be a championship level football team.
I mean, they're definitely like bottom 3rd Big Ten right now. Like,
I can go bottom 3rd Big Ten. I agree with that.
They it can't get open, and when they do get open, they're dropping the football. Like, I don't know what's going on there, but
what? And again, we can't blame the O line for when you have 7 rushers every play. Like, we can't expect them to pass block for 4 or 5 seconds at a time when you have that many guys coming. Even if you have Olu being a top 5 draft pick. I don't know.
Yeah. So what is the problem? It's every single year, and the obvious answer is Franklin, right? We've talked about it. He's the one common denominator, because when you look at this offense year over year, last year Drew was the scapegoat, right? Guys like Kyle Schumann hated his guts, said he was the worst quarterback to walk the earth.
No. I didn't hate Drew. I didn't like Sean Clifford.
He hated Sean Clifford.
That's what I wanted to say. So Clifford was the scapegoat last year, and everyone hated him, and he was, terrible, and that's why our offense sucks. And we would have won 3 natties if Drew started. Clearly, that's not the case this year. We see that because Drew has not been great. We have a much better offensive line than we had in years past. We have the running back room. Like, we have the pieces that were blamed in the past, and we still can't do anything. And people say play calling. It's like, okay, is it still play calling when this is our third offense coordinator where it feels the same way? Like something is broke. And besides saying Franklin, can you guys think of anything else that is broke with this offense?
I mean, the only argument that you can make with this particular year is that wide receiver recruiting has been bad for the last couple cycles. Like, I mean, now even when it was good, it wasn't like you had this 5-star guy coming in that makes a difference. You know, you have Jahan that comes up, you have KJ that comes up, but Justin Shorter 5-star doesn't pan out. Like, but we talked about it last week. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. should not be playing for Ohio State. You know, Julian Fleming should not be playing for Ohio State. That's the only thing I can say. But
I don't think our worst. Like, I feel like some of the recruits we have are still like solid 4-star recruits, which should still be getting. Maybe it's some of our, analyzing some of these high school kids coming out, and I feel like it also like some like development wise, like I feel like Ohio State, Michigan, some of these other programs that have like at the same level, maybe not Ohio State, but like a Michigan getting a 4-star wide receiver, which Penn State gets a lot of the time too. They're just developing these young guys way better than we are, perhaps, or we're just missing on them. I don't know.
But that's
I'm saying
this year's
this
problem,
year.
right?
No,
that's
because
this year's
I agree
problem.
with you. I've been saying it for the last 2 weeks, where everyone's saying, "Oh, bring Jomo back, bring Jomo." Like, does anyone think the same way about Joe Moorhead if Penn State doesn't win the Big Ten championship in 2016? Because 2017, we had the same things happen. Offense that stalled in big moments, and you lost big games because of it.
Yeah, but they didn't stall to this effect. Like, I just watched the 2017 Indiana game Friday night. We were at Quaker Steak and Lube, and it was on. And that offense, that defense was a problem. That defense, let Indiana run all over them. Our offense just went behind and had to come out of a hole to overcome that game out there. But when you watch the offense, it just looks so much more effortless out there. Like McSorley just seems to be able to make the tight throws, and Gesicki would just go up and get it. And you had everything just seemed so much more efficient. And Saquon would make these incredible runs that weren't even really there. Like their offensive line sucked, and they still managed. It seems like we've lost that spark.
Yeah,
we make it look so hard.
We had it at times last year, like especially at the end of the season. Now you could say the competition or whatnot, but it looks like it's going to take 10 plays to go 10 yards in this offense.
Yeah,
so
I agree. I mean, looking back, Kyle, like, really, do you think we could have won the Rose Bowl with Drew as the quarterback all year last year? Probably not. Like, I don't think it's really close.
Do I think we win the Rose Bowl with Drew Allar? I think we could win the Rose Bowl with Drew. With that, we still had like.
Do we get there with him playing all season? I don't think so.
Other than losing to Michigan, Ohio State, we really didn't have that many big roadblocks. And I don't think between Sean and Drew, I don't think those games make a big difference.
Because a lot of the stuff we pick at Drew right now for, like, it would have been amplified even more so last year.
I would say, except maybe that Ohio State game, where you can say to and from Sean won and lost that game because of the turnovers, but also he led us back, but he also put us in that position. So that could be one that maybe we get that if we have Drew, because we still have okay wide receivers last year. We didn't have great ones. We had okay ones.
Yeah. And I'm not losing. Like, he still has the chance to be this incredible quarterback, but there's no one out there right now that can't say he's been a disappointment from our expectations of the best quarterback in the nation, this 5-star, the solution to this.
Listen
to this program.
Here's what's going to happen. Basic Blues is going to offer an NIL deal to some big time wide receiver in the offseason, and we'll just get a big receiver come in.
We don't have that money. But I don't know if I'd say he's been a disappointment. Like because
he hasn't met expectations.
No, but it's the play style.
And
like
they were high expectations. But he was supposed to be the savior of this program. Like the piece that we finally needed. And it just the past 2 weeks have been evidence that
well,
it's
yeah,
not the case.
But they're playing extremely conservative. Like that's my thing. Like it's not like he's out there throwing 4 interceptions a game. Like Ohio State game was bad. Yeah, very bad. Everyone played bad. But I don't know.
So I asked a question,
but
and
he's not playing to a 5-star number one, the best quarterback in the nation that he was recruited to be.
Yeah, well, but if
he's not playing to that, he's not a true freshman. Like he has a full year of under his belt in college, not obviously not starting. It's just he hasn't been so far. It's not to say that boom in a turn the page, and this week at Maryland he goes and lights him up and turns the page and looks like the quarterback that we need. All I'm saying is to this point, he's been trending down in the wrong direction.
The only comment I make to that is when you have it. I know sometimes quarterbacks have like one option to throw to. Drew has no good wide receivers to throw the ball to, and it just makes him look worse because he has to go and make that play to bring the program up.
And I agree, but like even
Kyle McCord, he came out as a four-star recruit.
Even when he has had them open, he doesn't see them. He doesn't make the throw, or this really drives me nuts. He'll have a receiver 5 yards in front of him, and he'll whip it 2,000 miles an hour. And it's like, what are you like? No one can catch that.
That's the Ben Roethlisberger effect there.
Yeah, he's still getting used to that to playing. I think at this level, I agree with that, and I agree.
Opposite of Clifford, he'd have a guy 5 yards away, and he'd throw it 2 yards. he wouldn't even get it to him.
I asked you guys a question earlier podcast when Drew was playing well, offense was rolling a bit. I said Drew Allar is a top blank QB in the country. Answer, like, what do you think now? He's a top.
Well, like I said, he's been trending downwards to start the season. I mean, he looked great. But as of late, he hasn't progressed as I think we would hope he would. He's not where I thought he would be today. And maybe it's just these past 2 games are weighing a lot heavier on my mind. I understand if you look just at Drew's stats this past weekend, he wasn't terrible. But again, we're just comparing him to like he needs to be more than just a not terrible quarterback. He needs to be the quarterback
he's
that teams are afraid of.
He's being a very, very good game manager right now, but you need him to actually go out and win games.
Yeah, like
and
he's being Sean Clifford with better arm strength. Like Sean Clifford does not make those passes.
We need teams to be saying, "All right, we can't let Drew beat us." Instead, it's the opposite. It's like make him beat us. Yeah. And it's the opposite.
Is it really
he did against Indiana?
But then again, it goes back to okay. Well, you put man on the outside. If the wide receivers aren't getting open to make them beat us, and when they do get open, he's missing them. So it's a double-edged sword. It's either he misses the guys or they're not open.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems. I mean, this whole discussion, we haven't even mentioned the running backs, which it's like
I'm never going to be happy with this team.
Our offense is broke. There's something going on there. Our defense this weekend, we mentioned it, but personally, it's like what they can have a bad game. They carried the weight of this team for so many games. They can afford a bad game.
Yeah. The only concern is that one, nobody on that team looked like they're mentally ready to play after losing to Ohio State, which is a concern because we've seen that trend happen before. And 2, like, what happens if the defense starts making mistakes now? like shit, that's not going to be good.
We'll find out.
Yeah,
we'll find out soon.
Honestly. I was just trying to finish up something today, and like I always just throw in like, oh, here's who Penn State plays next. It's an easy way to finish the article. Like, is this the toughest 3-game stretch that Penn State has all season long? With 5-3 Maryland, 5-2 Maryland. I have the thing right in front of me, Matt.
I'm not as scared about Maryland. I'm more scared about Rutgers, even though that game's at home. I'm more scared of Rutgers than I am at Maryland.
5-3 Maryland, 8-0 Michigan, and 6-2 Rutgers. So yeah. I mean, are we done with Indiana talk? We can just transition into the Maryland talk.
We got the win.
Kutsu, one thing.
It makes me feel better.
Sutton, great sack at the end of the game. He's
Sutton-
one guy. He's
Sutton's
one guy that's
playing
panning
well.
out. He's one 5-star that we're having pan out to
Yeah.
be like, wow, this guy
Yeah,
is.
he's trending in the right direction.
Yep. And at the perfect time with Chop Robinson out and all that good stuff. But yeah, I thought we were going to cover after that safety. Like, let's just go. 31.
Oh,
let's go.
One last thing. How do we fall on that ball? How does that ball?
Oh my God.
How does that ball get out of the end zone? Like
in my mind, I had the.
I think I kicked twice and like,
it looked like it was covered in butter. It's just like
it felt like it took like 20 minutes to get down the field too. Like but yeah, got the win, flushing it, moving on. Maryland 5-3, like we said. The only reason I'm concerned about this game is because it's on the road and we have not looked good on the road at all to start. Like, it just it's more so like, I mean, actually, after seeing what I saw last weekend, it's kind of like if we don't play well, we might actually lose. But if we come out and we look sloppy again and we can't move the ball again, it's like
I agree with Matt.
It's an alarm. Like
I'm not with I know what you're saying, Kyle. You're more scared of Rutgers than Maryland, but if we play bad, Maryland will 100% beat us if we don't play well. There's no doubt this team could beat us.
Yeah, this is not going to be like a 63-10 type game.
See, I can make the same argument like I can for Rutgers the past years, but I just feel like we just have Maryland Rutgers. We just have their numbers. But if I had to pick out of the two teams, I'm more scared of the way Rutgers has been playing this year than the way Maryland is. So start 5-0 and looking at their schedule, they might lose their 7 games and miss a bowl game with the way they've been playing.
The only difference is home and away. I really feel like this past weekend that game's at Indiana. I don't know if we're coming home with a victory. No. I don't know if the crowd's there to pick them up when they need it like it was.
Yeah, but I mean, we handled Maryland, but guess what? We handled Northwestern too, and we were down late into the first half in that game as well. At
least we have Beaver Stadium South this week when we have the half the stadium in white. So
it's a gold out. Just be ready.
It's a gold out.
Very, very ferocious.
That's kind of lame.
Yeah. To circle back to the big debate we just had, this is where Drew can start to turn that page, right? He has yet to play well on the road. Here's his chance to start to turn the page and show that it's not every away game. He's not just going to come out and look terrible. Our offense as a whole has a shot here to, feed off that exhilarating, long ball, explosive play. Maybe that's the spark we needed to come out and man, can we just come out and look like a good team and go into Michigan with some confidence?
Yeah. As Maryland is a top 25 rushing defense in the country, and they're 72nd in passing. So you think you're going to be able to just run the ball down their throats? I'm sure we'll try, but
so sack the box and play man outside the key for any defensive player offense right now.
Yeah, I mean it's it's going to be the same thing.
We need our receivers to step up and Drew to step up and beat them. We need to beat them through the air. So teams, because right now, Kyle, you said it. It's the blueprint. It's the blueprint. It's out there, and everyone has a copy of it.
I wish we had a blueprint to beat every team. Oh, we're just going to do this every time.
Yeah, well,
I would say we can do the same thing, stack the box and play man, but the way our offense, the way our defense the past 2 weeks.
Maybe other teams do a better job of preparing for each opponent differently. I feel like we go into the same game plan, whether we could be playing, no matter who we're playing, same game plan.
Yeah, because we do the things that we do.
They do the initial meeting. They just crop out the other team's logo from the prior week and just throw the next week's logo in. Just keep the same bullet points in the meeting notes.
As we know, some teams in the Big Ten have very advanced scouting departments. So
I still think funny. I still think I'd like to see Bo get some playing time just to bring a different dynamic. We brought him in to ice the game. He iced the game.
I thought he was like,
well,
I thought he was gonna do a fake handoff and throw the ball.
that's it. Like we all season long, it's been building up to this. There's this bow package. There's this bow package. There's this bow package. You feel like, okay, it's gonna get ripped out at Ohio State. Doesn't. Franklin comes back and says, "Oh yeah, we had plans to do it, and then we didn't do it, but we're gonna show them on the field at the same time." He and Drew, and it doesn't show up again. Like, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for at this point?
Both of those, each of the last two games were the perfect opportunity to do it. And again, maybe they don't want to, you have this 5-star Drew Aller quarterback here, and maybe it's a mental thing that they just don't want to ruin him because they feel like he can be the difference maker. But I feel like if you attack it the right way, it's a package. You make it clear. We're not benching you. This is just a package that we're throwing it in to mix it up because of the different dynamic that he brings.
Like we're all about throwing some wrinkles in here, keep the opposing defense off balance. Did you guys catch like any of the Eagles Commanders game yesterday where they were in in that tush push formation? Everyone's assuming they're gonna do the 1 yard QB sneak, but they quickly hand it off to the running back and the guy gets a 15-yard touchdown out of it. So it's like something like that where just change one small thing up can have a huge impact on the game. Have a thing in for Bo. I'm all for it.
We did that versus Ohio State. It was just 17 wide receiver passes. That was the wrinkle. But I don't know. I mean, again, this is like, it is going to be such a good litmus test game, I think, because if come out and struggle again, it's just going to be like, that what we've seen the last 2 weeks is not an admiration.
Would how do I word this? Would you guys want, would any other QB in the country make that much difference on our offense? Like if you put Michael Penix back there, or if you put Caleb Williams, do they have that drastic impact to make us beat Ohio State or Michigan? Do you think?
I think either of those.
Even with our wide receivers, because both teams have first round talent at wide receiver.
They can do. I do. Let's put it this way: we could not have had worse quarterback play against Ohio State, and we still lost by a touchdown. For you to say Caleb Williams wouldn't make a difference in that game is nuts.
Maybe. I mean, I think you put freaking KJ Hamler on this team, and we're undefeated right now.
See, that's what I'm getting at. I think the point is the wide receiver position is more missing than the QB position, if that makes sense. Like,
shit, you put Parker Washington on this team, we're probably undefeated right now.
I agree with that.
That's, I think, the more gaping hole.
Yeah, it's a huge problem. I agree. I'm not the receivers are a huge problem, but the quarterback play has been less than stellar. So if you're going to tell me we can get a stud quarterback in right now that's experienced, that that Drew doesn't have, then yeah, no doubt.
Was that your last call question, Coco?
That was just off the cuff.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, I'm not editing this week, so I don't care anyway. Yeah, I mean, I think it is so important to just get a 20-point win. Can we just get a 20-point win?
What's the spread, Kyle? Go ahead.
Before we go to that real quick, I just wish that USC, we could swap our offense and they take our defense. It'd be a perfect that would complete their team and that would complete our team. You know what I'm saying?
Their offense has a lot of problems outside of Caleb Williams, though. Yeah. They're all USC has some problems across the board.
They didn't have many issues this past week in putting 50 up, but then also allowing 49 to Cal or whatever. So
yeah, no. I can't believe they won that game. I was shocked. I just chalked it up that they lost.
Should I get into our spreads here?
Yeah.
So we're favored right now 11 points at Maryland this week, and the over-under is 50.5. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, it's scary when, we're a top 10 team. Maryland's lost 3 straight to one a bad Illinois team, one a really bad Northwestern team, and we're only favored by 11. I think that tells you where Vegas is with us. I mean, ESPN gives us an 83% chance to win this game, and we're an 11-point favorite. And honestly, I don't love it. I think there's just I haven't seen the sign of life from the offense. I think our defense bounces back, but I have to think we're such a better team than Maryland. We have to cover that.
And Trent, the over under 50. Does our offense show? Pretty much is asking, does our offense have a pulse this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the under.
Under for Trent.
I think it's another. I think our defense bounces back.
Matt, what do you think?
I'm gonna go 27-17. So I don't think we cover, and I need to break out the calculator to do math unless one of the accountants wants to get it for me.
Should be an under.
Under, yeah, that'd be an under.
I think it might be like, I think we might get like a late touchdown that like Franklin like says, "Oh, we need this touchdown to cover." So I think we do cover the 11. I'm gonna go over. I think it's gonna be like a 35 to like 20.
See, he tried to make it sound like he was just like using his logic to work through, but really he just went the opposite direction that both of us went.
No,
the problem is if Franklin just has this magic wand that he can we need to cover, let's go score. What the heck do we break that package out?
No, I think Franklin does that. Well, he did it during the Northwestern game. Pull that package out there. I think it'll be one of those.
That was before the blueprint was out on us.
Whatever. I think it's over 2. I think it's gonna be like 35 to I don't know, 20 or something like that.
Are you going, Kyle? No. Yeah, I'm still.
I guess technically 35-19 for us to go over as well, because 35-20 would be 50.
I still might. I'm going to be like a Friday decision.
Aren't your uncle and aunt coming down?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean they'd go to the game too. It's an option.
Game time.
Yeah, wait for them to give us a sponsor. All right. Transitioning from our game, we got Missouri at Georgia. Georgia fair by 16.
Georgia's looking good again.
Georgia for Matt, Georgia to Trent, and I'll go Georgia for Kyle because they're looking like the Georgia that's going to win a third straight national championship right now. These would be 2 completely different games. So we got Washington and USC over 76.5. That's a
lot.
It's just
Washington's such a weird team right now.
Yeah.
And they made us look good this week.
They're inconsistent.
Ugh, man, that just seems so high. But I'm gonna take the under.
Under for Trent. Matt?
Yeah, I'm gonna go under 2.
Can USC's defense have 2 stops?
I feel like Matt and I have 4 picks all year where we went differently.
That's how you maintain your lead.
Last week that Oklahoma Kansas went over. That was 65.5. I'm going under as well. That's too many damn points. I can't in good faith pick that. On the flip side here, Iowa Northwestern. That thing opened up at a 29 point over under. I think it was the lowest opening spread. One was put that in the group chat, the lowest opening spread in college football history.
Don't just say someone. It was John. Everyone knows John.
Everyone knows
with
number 1 super fan John.
Well,
leave a comment, John.
With the offensive coordinator rumored to be heading to Michigan for head coach. Yeah. It's gonna be
the AI Brian Ferentz videos.
That's so funny.
They're so funny. Did you see the one today?
I didn't see the latest.
No, I didn't see one today.
He said, I'm here to announce that I am resigning. Re-signing. Who put the hyphen in the wrong
spot? They're so good too.
So right now before we started recording, that game's at 30.5. It's the flip side.
Where's it at?
I think it's at Northwestern. I can double check that.
I have to take over. The over. Like, that's embarrassing. If
It's funny.
Yeah,
How about the over under between the service academies this week is a higher over under than this game.
the only thing that makes me second guess it is the line on the Iowa Minnesota game from a couple weeks ago, and it was like, oh yeah, that's gonna go over too. It was like 31 or whatever, and then it ended up being 12-8.
That
So,
that game might end up screwing us over. That
well, yeah, but Northwestern beating Maryland this week helps too. So I haven't done the math, but we got to take care of business, Coco. So eyes on the prize, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. Let's go. I'm gonna go under in this game, by the way.
I'm also going under.
What the hell? Oh boy, I better change it then.
You went over, Matt, just because I picked under?
No, I'll stay under.
Trent, you said you went over.
yeah,
All right, let's do our playoff predictor.
I had to hold that sneeze in, otherwise that'd be like the loudest.
That's podcasting.
I don't know where my note is. Where we were last week. I think I was at 10%. Kyle was at less than that.
I was at
like 8. Matt was still at like 20.
Yeah.
Well, I got to go back up to 10 because we've won. So like I feel like our chances like still increase after the win, but I don't feel good about it.
Yeah.
I'll just say. So when we had this discussion last week, and I was like, there's still a ton of crazy stuff that's gonna happen in college football yet. And Oklahoma loses. Just kind of proves my point. That being said, down to 15 because this team cannot beat Michigan with this offense right now.
Yeah, I'm still sticking with my guns here that I still think we can beat Michigan. I obviously am way less confident now, but I'm probably sticking around 10. I think I labeled it pretty nicely last week. I'll stick with 10%.
I really can't wait for just to have the full merry-go-round again when that Michigan week game comes up. I'm gonna talk myself into, you know what? It's a home game. We can't win this game. I just can't wait for that to happen, and it's gonna just burn me again.
Well, the one good thing is if we pull off a miracle and beat them, right? We play that Friday.
It's gonna be hard to storm the field from row 76 or 78, wherever the hell we are.
We'll get down there.
Yeah, we'll get down there fast.
Yeah, right. We can't get out of the game fast.
I got out fast.
Took us 20 minutes to get down to the bottom of the steps to get a soda.
Probably got out of the stadium faster than 322. Dear God in heaven, that's terrible. Yeah, I'm at 15%. That is basically saying I have a 15% confidence level that we're going to beat Michigan. So,
well, then you should be much lower than that because even if we beat Michigan, a lot has to go our way.
I think if we beat Michigan, then a lot will go our way.
I don't know. I'm still convinced that an 11-1 Penn State team, even if we don't win the tiebreakers, I think they have to put us in, right?
Depends how it shakes out. Like Oklahoma helps.
Yep. USC beating Washington this week would help. So, but we'll see. All right,
for chaos. We'll go first here. I typed this out right before we started here. Do either Katron Allen or Nick Singleton transfer after this year? Either one of them?
Not looking good.
Not looking good that neither one will transfer. Not looking good that one will transfer at least.
That I think one will transfer. I mean, it just, I don't know, just some weird vibes with that room right now. So,
and we sort of knew this. Like, you have two good talent back. Like, there's only one football to go around. There's two good running backs, and can't make everyone happy. Again, follow-up question: who would you rather see transfer out?
That's
no. So the answer is that it's gonna be Katron because they're not gonna let the optics of a 5-star in-state prospect transferring.
I don't know. Katron's been looking.
I'm not saying who's looked better on the field. I'm saying the optics of that situation. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Well, how about they just both start playing well starting this week, and we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
It's just something to plant a seed in and see what happens.
You're the type of people that cause problems and then get blocked by James Franklin on Twitter. So stop. Stop.
You heard it here first, folks. The rumor started.
Yeah, this report. Put it big
from this unnamed source.
Yeah, the source went on the record that said he scouted for Michigan at the Penn State games and that Katron's going to transfer.
Trem, what was your opinion on that?
I don't think about that.
Oh, I like how he just gets to weasel out of questions that he doesn't want to answer.
Yeah, it's the politician in me.
I think
no, you got to pick one. You got to yes or no. Yes or no. It's last call.
Okay. I answered this follow-up question. I'll go yes.
So you wouldn't say which one will transfer out. You're just gonna say one transfers out. Such a political answer.
It's just that room is just. Last year the vibes were so good. It's like they're both awesome. They're both getting a ton of carries. Neither of them could be stopped, and now it's like, yeah. And I think it's worse because Singleton is the guy that's falling behind, which is not the way anyone thought it would go.
Yeah. All
right, I think Singleton transfers.
Oh wow!
I think it happens.
To where, Kyle? To where? Who's already been contacting?
Probably Texas or Ohio State.
Probably Ohio State, and will put up 300 yards against us.
So that's what always happens. Karma always bites us somehow.
All right, I'm going with a Chat GPT last call question because I didn't have one, so I asked last call. What should my last call question be on the Penn State Football Podcast? So, fellas, what recent I can't read this. What recent developments for upcoming events in Penn State football should fans or prospective students be particularly excited about? And how does the football program contribute to the overall Penn State experience?
Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
It's
supposed to be a quick answer.
Well, Matt, ChatGPT made it open-ended. Kyle, tell us how the football program contributes to the overall Penn State experience.
Well, it makes my experience suck during the week after they lose or look like crap. So I mean, it makes my experience look like shit. So is that a good enough answer?
During the Kyle the Commonwealth students don't count answer this week. It was so funny. He's just like.
Commonwealth Day is coming up, so
I'll be there. And say Berks.
I don't know. The food is better this year. I like the new cups. That's a recent development that has people excited. I like the new aluminum cups. They're cool.
Yeah, they are.
Have you guys think? I think the hot chocolate's gotten more watered down since last year.
It's always watered. It's terrible.
No, but it's more watered down than it usually is.
It depends on the stand.
Literally chocolate flavored water at this point. It's not even it's probably not even hot chocolate mix in there.
Yeah,
they only have one. They only have one packet. They got to make it last.
Yeah, they make it like a 5-gallon bucket with a single packet of a single packet for a single cup. They dump in. It's like brownish.
All right.
Vibes aren't good for this team right now.
Hey, we almost ended the podcast forever. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. One less thing we have to do. I still have to do my last call question. Then we can get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have one before the start of the show, so I did a Matt GPT.
They should ask ChatGPT.
Is Jim Harbaugh going to be the coach of Michigan next year?
That's ChatGPT.
No, he's going to the NFL. There's going to be too many openings in the NFL for him not to go.
Jim Harbaugh to the Giants.
ChatGPT says that coaching situations in college football can change from year to year.
Yeah.
Smart.
So read between the lines. Yes.
Or no, potentially.
Jim Harbaugh to the Bears.
So we're gonna have the same pack that we do every week now moving forward. If Penn State loses, we're ending the podcast.
Yeah, we might have to come up with something creative for Michigan, unless we just
Yeah.
end it. we're like suicide bombers.
I don't know. I don't think we end it if we lose to Maryland, because Maryland has at least a winning record where Indiana was 2-5.
All right.
Maybe it's Maryland.
We kick one of us off random
and bring Winnie back.
Yeah.
No, it's just one of us and Winnie for a podcast. That's what happens.
Put Trent on there, be just the same thing. Like Trent talks all the time, Winnie doesn't talk. It's the same thing.
You know, I get feedback from our listeners that I carry the show, and if I don't talk, who's going to carry the show?
That's just because John needs you to come over to do stuff around his house. We all know.
It works.
We all know what the real situation is. So, all right, we're done. We're out. Follow us on our socials. They're over here somewhere in the box. Tailgate Talk. Oh, God, the vibes around this team suck right now. All right. Till next time, we are Tailgate Talk.